Hey guys, Marstinkin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be focusing on the JP side. I always do team building guides for the EZAs, and you guys seem to always appreciate them. And in the past I have mainly focused only on Global, but since Global isn't getting a proper EZA, you just need to replay the stages of the Buuhan one to awaken Buff Buu. So I thought I'd do a team building guide for the INT Kid Buu EZA, which will be dropping very soon on JP as well. So it's a standard 30 stage EZA. The weakness is Pure Saiyans, and obviously he is an INT enemy, so you're going to be looking at a full physical Pure Saiyans team. It's a typical standard 30 stage EZA, so you can't stun from turn 5 onwards. You can't attack lower from stage 15 onwards, and you can't seal from stage 20 onwards. And then once you go all the way to the end, you get all of your medals to EZA INT Kid Buu. You get a whole bunch of INT orbs, and then 30 stones and 11 INT Kais. So very good. There's also the missions. As long as you're using a Pure Saiyan team, you'll easily be able to complete all of these by the time you finish the full 30 stages to EZA him. So you get 34 stones out of it. Nice little bit of a bonus. So the category, as I said, is Pure Saiyans. One of the biggest categories in the game. Obviously, it's I mean, just look at all the units that you got available. So you want to be focusing on INT physical your versus INT physical units. So obviously this man right here, he's dropped off a little bit. He doesn't see a huge amount of use on other teams, but he is absolutely perfect to be your leader for this event, because he gives Pure Saiyans 3 key, 150% to all stats, and of course he's a physical unit. He also gives super class key 3 and HP attack and defense 100%. So if you are maybe slightly newer and you can't fill out a full team of Pure Saiyans, I haven't gone over any real non-Pure Saiyan units in this video, but if you needed to fill gaps on the team that would then come under the super class sub leader skill, units like EZA Vegeta Blue, like, even though he's not a Pure Saiyan, he's a physical unit that's going to fire off multiple super attacks, raise his defense, and then have some counters as well. So there are certainly non-Pure Saiyan units that can be made to work. And obviously this Vegeta gives you the most scope because of the secondary leader skill. So he is probably the #1 choice for your leader. So then of course we have the 3-year LR, the LR Gojia, recently added to Pure Saiyans during the worldwide celebration. So that is a huge buff to any stage that requires the use of Pure Saiyans, being able to use this guy and the Vegito. So yeah, this guy's just going to be an absolute tank. He's barely going to take damage. Even if he hadn't been added to Pure Saiyans, I would recommend him anyway under that super types sub leader skill from Vegeta, just because he is obviously very powerful LR. He's a little bit older now as well, so it's likely that more people have him, maybe have some dupes into him. So yeah, he's just going to be a very strong unit. You're probably never going to get to turn 6 in an EZA, but I mean, if you do, you can't heal, well, you can't use items at least, so you might be able to get the fusion. Maybe if you try and push past stage 30, which I know some people like to do for fun. But yeah, this guy being on Pure Saiyans now, definitely top tier unit for this team. So then we move on to the LR Blue Boys. Obviously this is a unit that is only on JP, so I haven't had any hands-on experience with them myself, but obviously they are an incredibly powerful summonable LR. If you pick up Rainbow Orbs, they get additional attacks. They are only additional normals, but then of course that increases the likelihood that their hidden potential additional will go off, which even if you have them with no dupes as a physical unit, they have free level 5 additional. So they're going to be able to put out a pretty solid amount of damage. They don't have the best links in terms of key if you don't have another Tournament of Power unit on the team, but you can always bring supports, orb changers, that kind of thing. So I think these guys will be a solid option. Not as a leader, of course, but just as a solid unit on the team. Like the Gojia, for example, you could use him as a leader. You could run double Gojia leads and they both be getting this full leader skill buff, and then everyone else on the team would only be getting 90%, which is not the worst, so you could do that. But another new unit who is definitely going to make a big impact on this EZA is the Super Saiyan 2 Angel Vegeta LR. Obviously, he is incredibly powerful. He raises his defense on Super with the 12 key, so he's going to be able to tank really well right from the start. And then, of course, you can use his active skill third turn. So it's very easy to see this as long as you have a Majin Buu Saga Goku on your team, which, of course, leads us on to this guy, who, even on like the Super Saiyan team, the Majin Buu Saga team, this is one of the best guys to bring along with the physical LR Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, because he fulfills that Majin Buu Saga Goku requirement. Plus, he does also provide key defense, and then because he's in the Super Saiyan 2 category, attack to the LR Vegeta as well. So this guy on rotation with the Super Saiyan 2 Goku, that is going to be incredibly powerful. Like, easily the first like 15 to 20 stages, that rotation, if you get them on turn 1, you're going to be doing huge amounts of damage and potentially not even get to turn 3 to use the active skill. And then when you do get to turn 3 on the harder stages, you just activate the active skill with this guy and he will absolutely destroy the Kid Buu. So if you do have this guy, and you can run him with this guy as well under the Vegeta leads, this would be an incredibly powerful option. Vegeta also can be used as a leader because he has subtypes 4 key and 100%. So if you are bringing other LRs, that will obviously help them out as well. Not many of the other units are going to be in worthy rivals. It's mostly Vegetas if we're talking about pure Saiyans. But you could use him as an option, or as a friend if you don't have him. If you have this Goku, you could bring him on the team and then bring a friend LR Vegeta if you can find one. So then we go on to another LR who I feel like he's a little bit underrated. He doesn't get any love anymore, but the LR Bardock, he does have a super physical types leader skill, 4 key and 100% to stats, so you could use him as a leader. He also has an extreme types for physical sub lead, so you can bring on extreme units as well if you want to. Obviously you can't seal past the first lot of stages, but I do think this guy is good. Again, I think he's kind of underrated. He does get a bunch of extra key when you're only fighting one enemy, so it's going to be easy to get his 12 key super. And yeah, he'll be able to dish out a lot of damage. He does have very good links for the other kind of units that we're going to be bringing along. So I do think that he is probably a worthwhile inclusion if you have him. And again, he's more of a sort of last resort leader if you don't have a better option for pure Saiyans or physical types. So then we got the physical Kale. So the global main side of me got a little itch at the side of my brain here because we're still waiting on this one. But yeah, EZA physical Kale is incredibly good. Attack 160%, launches an additional attack which has a great chance to become a super, and then reduces damage by 60% for the first 6 turns. And then from the next turn onwards, she still gets 60% damage reduction, but only if you get 6 or more physical orbs, which is obviously a lot more difficult to do. But you're probably not going to get past 6 turns, as we've already discussed, especially with the likelihood of her firing off multiple super attacks. She's going to do a ton of damage and be able to tank really well as well. And yeah, you know, even though for some bizarre reason she doesn't have Super Saiyan, she does have Prepared for Battle, she has Saiyan Lineage, she does have Tournament of Power, so of course if you have them, running her on rotation with the LR Blue Boys means that they are going to be getting that 3 key from the Tournament of Power link as well. So if you have the Blue Boys, she's definitely a good option to bring on the team if you have her fully EZA'd. So then we go on to the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, the Awakening from when Blue Kaioken came out. Obviously he's an orb changer and infinitely stacks his defense. He has a nuking style passive, so he can get his defense up to being pretty crazy if you pick up a ton of orbs. Plus, of course, that allows him to heal you quite significantly if you pick up a large amount of physical orbs, which in an EZA is always incredibly useful because you can't use items. So there's not really a huge amount we have to say about this guy. He has Prepared for Battle and Super Saiyan, so he fits in perfectly fine on the team and provides his own source of orbs, which is then going to give him a massive attack and defensive buff as well as the heal, I would say. So he's going to be very good as well. Not the best for a leader, but very solid unit to have on the team, because even if you don't want to pick up all the orbs with him, if you are running an LR heavy team, even if you have this guy just floating, when he floats into the 3rd spot, he's going to create a ton of physical orbs, and then you can feed those all to your LRs. So he's going to be very useful on the team as well. And then we do have a couple of extreme units I wanted to mention. So we have the physical Gallic Gun Vegeta, Again, he does have a reasonable enough like sub lead if you wanted to run him if you're lacking better options. But he raises attack and defense on super. He builds up ki. Obviously, you're not going to be fighting a Goku family enemy. But once he super attacks, he gets another attack and defense 90%. And then if you drop below 60% HP, which again in an easy A when you can't heal, in the higher stages, you're probably likely to do this as you get towards the final turn or two. He then gets Ki 6 and an extra 60% defense. So he's a very solid unit. He'll fit very well onto the team. And yeah, he'll be able to dish out quite a bit of damage as well as tanking very well. And then the final one for the honorable mention, how could we talk about Pure Saiyans without talking about the physical legendary Super Saiyan Broly? Obviously got much better after his Easy A, though probably not in the top tier of Easy A's. But he's going to be really good for this event, just for the simple fact that he's going to launch at least 2 super attacks every turn, depending on how many dupes and like orb investment you have into him. So he has the potential to launch 3 super attacks every single turn. He has a crit chance built in, which is going to go all the way up as you attack more and more. And of course he raises attack and defense on super as well. So if you get that god RNG roll and get 3 super attacks in turn 1, not only is each one going to have done more damage, but you've built up your defense 3 times. So he will actually be able to tank reasonably well as well. So you put this guy onto a turn, get him, you know, at least Super Saiyan, Fierce Battle, Saiyan Warrior Race, couple of attack links active, and then yeah, he's going to be firing off a bunch of supers and doing an absolute ton of damage. So in terms of whether there's ever any other honorable mentions, again, I said I wanted to focus primarily on physical units. I mean, units like God Goku, for example, because he has a built-in chance to dodge, like him and the LRUI Goku, you could always bring them because they have a chance to not even get hit at all. So the fact that they don't have the type advantage, they're going to be okay there. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the LRs here are going to be all good, even if they're not physical, apart from, I guess, the tech ones, because all the tech ones here are not the best defensively. But yeah, like units like Kale and Caulifla, they're not going to get their built-in guaranteed additional super attacks, but every time they super, they build up their defense. Goku, when you get the 12 key super, has pretty reasonable defense. The Super Battle Road Goku has built-in dodge and is a support unit, so he could be kind of useful as well. So really, like any Pure Saiyan LRs, as long as they're not massively lacking in defense, are probably going to be useful on the team. And then obviously Pure Saiyans just has one of the biggest rosters in the game. So apart from tech, honestly, as long as you can put together at least 3 or 4 of the units that we talked about in this video, it almost doesn't matter who else you bring as long as they're not going to be a huge defensive liability. Because Pure Saiyans, as I say, has just so many. Even if we look at the other physical units that I haven't really talked about because they're not like quote-unquote top tier. I mean, any of these units, like this Vegeta, he'll fit okay onto the team. I know a lot of the units have over in a flash, but he can do a decent amount of damage. The Awakening for this Super Saiyan 2 Goku is quite old now, but he's a pretty solid unit overall. The Kaioken Goku, who I know is better on JP. There's just tons of physical Pure Saiyan units that could fill those gaps. So I do think the ones that I went over are your best choices, but you do have a lot of leeway to fill the team with other things as well. So let me know what team you guys are planning to run. Are you just going to do the 30 stages, get your medals and dip, or are you going to see how high you can go? I haven't done that on an Easy A for ages, so I might have to start doing that again. I do have some that are like way over 100, and then some of the more recent ones I literally got to like 40 and then stopped. So it might be interesting to do that again. But let me know what your guys' plans are. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the link to the Discord in the description. Feel free to join in the fun down there. There's also team building sections and other places to get even more advice there, or you can do that in the comment section as well. And I will see you guys again soon. Have a good one.